My name is Dave Barber, Capital Television, and today we're coming to you from the Rhode Island State House, more specifically the third floor where the Senate President and House Speaker both enjoy offices. And we try to corral some members of the General Assembly and discuss some of the things they've been working on and its impact on Rhode Island and more specifically you. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome back a woman that we've had the good pleasure of interviewing in the past. Good to have her back with us again today, the Honorable State Representative Teresa Tanzi. Representative, it is nice to see you.
Thank you.
I know you've been very busy. Your colleagues in the House have been very busy. And everybody's talking about jobs and the importance of bringing jobs to Rhode Island. Well, one of the big categories for our state centers around fishing, and you've put together a special commission around the Port of Galilee. It's an 11-member task force. Can you tell our viewers about that?
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you framed it in the terms of jobs, because this report, or the task force, wants to look at what's happening in Galilee, and there's a lot of very positive things that are happening there. And we just had our very first meeting last week, where we received a report from the Cornell Cooperative Marine Extension that quantified, for what I think is the first time, just how many jobs are in the fishing industry in the state, the economic impact of that, and aggregated all kinds of data that before now had just been in separate reports and not really, we weren't really able to understand the impact of the fishing industry in the state.
And again, too, I'm sure that they'll be looking at environmental concerns as well. And again, I think this is going to really, and by putting together this task force, I think you're saying to people in Rhode Island that Galilee is more than just a place where you catch the boat to go to Block Island. There's a lot of commercial enterprise there, and that means tax revenue, good paying jobs, and again, maybe that can be exploited and we can grow that business category.
Without a doubt, this report showed that we have over 7,000 people that are employed in the state in the industry, and it quantified it at over $200 million in fish landings. So, you know, those are two really bright spots in the state's economy.
Another thing that's had you busy, recently you held this health policy legislative forum that took place. Tell us about that, and what is the role of that forum? What was the goal of that forum?
Sure. That just happened last week. We had the Rhode Island Public Health think tank. It's a lot to say. And we had a group of legislators come and actively participate. This is the 6th year that we've had this at the State House, and I was happy to co-host it with Senator Pichardo. We had the Lieutenant Governor come and speak. We had the Director of the Health Department, Director Michael Fine, come and speak, and it really is just an opportunity to advance public discussions of health policy between lawmakers and those who actually are in the field providing services.
You know, recently I was driving by the State House and I noticed that it was lit up in red in respect and honor of the Go Red for Women campaign, which is calling awareness to females and incidents of heart disease. That's just one category, of course, that impacts our state. But again, if we're going to keep people healthy, we have to keep our thumb on what's going on in terms of availability of resources, and as well as research and developments of what's happening with disease and healthcare in Rhode Island.
Absolutely, and the nice thing about this is we have the policy researchers there that presented to us. There were people from the Rhode Island Tobacco Control Network. We had presentations from the Rhode Island Committee on Occupational Safety and Health and the Food Policy Council. So these are all things that are going on throughout the state, and this is an opportunity to bring those reports to the legislature so that we can become educated on them.
You know, you mentioned smoking, and no matter how expensive cigarettes become or how many provisions there are to prohibit people from using tobacco products in certain places, there are still a lot of folks in our culture and here in the Ocean State that are using tobacco. And if there was one thing that a Rhode Islander could do simply to really have a major impact on their health, if they could just stop smoking.
It's true. It really is true. My husband is a healthcare provider, and I actually took a report that we received last year and brought it to him, asking him specifically to have conversations with his patients. It's a serious problem, and we have to attack it on all fronts.
Well, thank you, Representative, for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. We wish you the best of success with the remaining 2012 session.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to you for watching Capitol Spotlight from the third floor of the State House. I'm Dave Barber.